Hey, everybody. Sandy C sent me a text earlier. It said, hey, it was an article. It was talking about Lukoil, the executive chairman, whoever he is,
Oh, yeah.
Ravi
Yep.
Mangovi, dies. Okay. I'm going to let Stacey read about that. And then I've got a pile of other people that have died as well over the last few months that are involved in this. And it's really, really interesting. So check it out.
Yeah, just hang in there for a few minutes. So here's what I want to do. I want to connect a few dots tonight on a few articles of what's going on in the world and kind of see if we can put them together and see what you think. So one of them is the Lukoil. So ironically, they are the only Russian oil producer that called for a fast resolution of the military conflict when Ukraine happened in early March, just after they invaded Ukraine, Moscow invaded Ukraine. All right. So guess what happens? The CEO all of a sudden jumps out of a hospital window and commits suicide. And this just happened yesterday. 67 years old. And what are the guys that you found?
Okay, well, they said he had some kind of
He had a heart
illness.
condition. He had a heart condition. He
They didn't go
was
into
on
any
some kind
details.
of drugs or whatever.
But as I looked into this,
Yeah.
this is what's crazy. Magnov's sudden death,
This is
and I'm going to
all-
butcher these names, so just tear me up in the comments. There's no way I can pronounce them, but I'll do my best.
But wait a minute, just for a second. These are all related to the Lukoil, right?
Lukoil, Gazprom Bank, and Gazprom.
Got it.
Magnov's sudden death comes just a few months after Alexander Subdan, a former top Lukoil executive, was found dead in May. An investigation into his death is said to be ongoing, though Russian state media put bizarre details at the time, citing sources who said Subdan had been found dead in a shaman's home where voodoo rituals were performed and that he had been severely intoxicated. All right, that's some Jason Bourne stuff.
It is.
Just a month earlier, Vladislav Abe, the former vice president of Gazprom Bank, a privately owned subsidiary of Gazprom, was found dead of a gunshot wound in Moscow, along with his wife and daughter. Investigators said they suspected murder-suicide. A day after Abe's body was found, Sergei Protesnaya, the former deputy chairman of gas company Novatek, there's one more, was found hanging in a villa in Spain, with his wife and daughter also found dead on the premise with stab wounds. Police say, the theory was probably suicide. I don't know. There's no more to the article. Okay, the next one. In February, Gazprom executive Alexander Tuyokov was found hanged in his St. Petersburg garage, with police saying they had discovered a suicide note near his body. His death came just a few weeks after Gazprom invest executive Leonid Shalman was found dead at his cottage in the Legrand region, with law enforcement sources also describing his death as a suicide. They are being suicided. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. There's some crazy stuff going on in the world right now, and I can't imagine being a part of any really huge, massive corporations like that, being at the top. And then I also can't imagine losing my wife and kids because I was a part of something like that. It's like,
true.
man, what were they into? What is really going on?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. If you kind of connect the dots, you just start to look at one little article like that. You look at all those different pieces and you connect the dots. So that was just one of them. But here's what it gets interesting. So Russia has all to do with this, with all these suicides. And now, all of a sudden, they are going to decide to do war games. And they're going to defy the U.S. And they're going to bring China and India into Russia to do war games. They're going to do 50,000 troops. It's going to be a week-long drill. Russia is holding a major military exercise involving China and India as Putin pushes back against the attempts by the U.S. and its allies to isolate him over his invasion of Ukraine. And more than 50,000 troops, 5,000 pieces of military equipment, 140 aircrafts, 60 warships are due to take part in this week-long event. And it's going to have naval drills in the Sea of Japan.
So the people some of the people that are, I would say, the main people that are developing a new central currency. You know, they're working together for a new global currency. Even our own Fed chair, Jerome Powell, came out and said there's not uncommon to have more than one reserve currency.
He did.
What an
He did.
idiot. It is in my lifetime. But anyway, the same people that are doing that are playing war games together. This is some real World War III doomsday Thunderdome news. I don't really know what all goes on in war games. I've never been around them, but I can't imagine it being helpful to us.
Well, India has become a little bit of a topic, and you've actually talked about India before.
Yeah, they're what the old U.S. used to be. They have a strong free market capitalism. They just started a new bullion exchange.
They did for gold.
For gold, and when this happened in Beijing, 1/3 of the global gold supply started going to Beijing. I mean, this is a big deal, and they're getting their people into gold. They're making it easier for them to get gold. The Indians love gold. My mother is a jeweler. She makes fine jewelry. She has for over 35 years, and she knows those Indians, and they really like gold. And they're coming up. They really are.
They're stepping up their game.
It's a very nice place to live, believe it or not. I actually lived with some Hindu Indians in South Carolina. I lived with 7 Hindu Indians, and we slept on the floor in a 2-bedroom apartment. I'll never forget it.
But what the U.S. is trying to woo, they called it in quotes, the India as a Defense Department, urging it not to undermine international sanctions. But they are going a little bit more toward Russia, it seems like, and a little bit more toward China as this continues to go. India, which has previously attended the exercises but has avoided taking on sides on the Russian war, has now started to apparently kind of head toward the Russian alliance.
Yeah, well, they're getting their oil from Russia now.
Well, let's go to that, yeah.
Yeah.
But real quick before I go to that, so they said the Defense Ministry in Beijing said that China's Army, Air, and Naval forces are going to take parts in these drills to strengthen military coordination. And you know what it is? It's against the U.S. in the Pacific region. That's why we're against. Yeah, so India now is a new player in the Russian oil market, once dominated by China. So we did all these sanctions on Russia, and the India said, fine, I'll take this oil. And they went in and bought this oil
Opportunist.
up from... Yeah, they did.
They took advantage of
They did.
what was going on, that's what...
Yeah, India has pushed into a corner of the Russian oil market once dominated by China. It's taken out a record number of shipments, and they are hauling it out.
Yeah, and it's a longer trip. It's a longer trip to get it from
is.
Russia to where they were going, but they said they're going to keep doing it as long as it's affordable.
Yep.
So, and I'll kind of paraphrase.
No,
the
go for
U.S.
it.
is saying, yeah, you don't need to do that. They're trying to woo them into not doing it, but they're going to do it anyway.
They are doing it. They said before this year's spree, India was not a prominent player in this trade, and right now they've become a huge, huge player. Huge.
Yeah, and now they're selling
To
the
us.
oil to us.
To us and everybody else across the... No, they're going to Asia right now, I think.
Yeah, they're going to South Asia, right?
Yeah, but they're selling across
So
the world
they're
right
getting
now.
a deal and they're flipping it.
Yeah.
That's India's. They're wheeling and dealing over there.
Yeah, no, it's true. So the last thing I guess we'll talk about is China. One more thing, circle back to China, because everything seems to rate around China and Russia. They're still going after Taiwan, and apparently they've got drones, and they're starting to actually, I guess, actively attack. And Taiwan has vowed counterattacks if China enters territory amid second warning shot. And they said the military will determine whether to engage the target and exercise the right of self-defense to counterattack if the drones fail to leave. So it's escalating, seems like by the day, on Taiwan with China. I don't know how far that'll get, but it seems to be escalating.
We're really looking at some hard.
We're living in history.
This is the beginning of. The problem is recency bias. It's never happened here. Nobody thinks
True.
it will. But I'm not scared of the draft. But that's on the table.
Could be.
Nobody likes to talk about it or think about it or anything like that. But they've done it before. They've made gold illegal before.
True.
They've done a lot of things that people never think about, and a lot of times, and I've said it before, when times are good, nobody can remember when it's bad, and when times are bad, nobody can remember when it's good.
True.
But we've got a lot to watch, and that whole keep your head on a swivel and just do the best you can, because there's no really actions to take at the end of this video. I don't know how to get prepared for World War III other than try to last longer than the other people. You know what I'm saying? That you just have your food and brace for impact. That's all we really can do. And don't let it get you down. Take advantage of the days before, because it's really easy to look at this news. When you're scratching around looking for this news, it's easy to get bogged down and really depressed. Please don't do that.
No.
Live every day like it's your last, and enjoy it.
I wake up every day and I tell Chris, what's my saying every day? When I wake up and I cheer with a coffee, I say, this is going to be the best day of our life. And it is. We lived the best day of our life every single day.
We didn't for a while.
No, we kind of got down
had to
for a
start.
while.
We had to start really.
Yeah.
And speaking those things out loud will really help you. You speak things into existence.
Yeah, they do.
And, and if you haven't been reading your Bible, that would be a really good place to start. And that goes for me and everybody else. I don't read enough, but that would be an excellent place to start. And you'll have a more full feeling through the day. You won't feel so, because this will drain you. This kind of information will drain you.
It will, but you also need to know about it. So you need to know what's coming, so you can be prepared, not scared, as you say so often, and do the best you can. So I think that's where we are.
That's where we're at. So guys, have an awesome, awesome day. Later.